Subaru's all-wheel drive system is known for being one of the best, and the rear differential that helps maintain traction by distributing power to the wheels, allowing the wheels to adjust to the terrain by spinning at different speeds, is a key component in the all-wheel drive system. In order to keep the rear differential functioning properly for a long time, Subaru recommends that the rear differential fluid on a 2015 Plus WRX STI to be checked and changed if necessary about every 30,000 miles. I currently have 78,787 miles and counting on my STI, and I'm not so sure when the last time the previous owner had the rear differential oil changed, if ever. So today, I'm going to change the oil. This time, I'll be using Redline 7590 for the differential oil, as the quality of this oil for the price was just too good to pass up on. For the rear differential, we're going to need about 1 quart of oil. You're also going to need a couple of these crush washers for the fill and drain bolts. For the tools, we'll need a ratchet, possibly a breaker bar if the bolts have trouble coming off, a torque wrench, a 24mm deep socket in order to fit over the sensor on the fill bolt, a 17mm socket for the drain bolt. This one doesn't have to be a deep socket, but if you have one, it could help. And lastly, a pump attachment will make it much easier to fill up the oil, since we'll be filling the oil up from below. Now that we have all of our tools, we're all ready to begin. So let's get the car up in the air. To jack up the car from the back, we can use the bottom of the rear differential as the jacking point. The most important tip for this project is to take off the fill bolt before the drain bolt. If we can't get the fill bolt off, but the oil is already drained, we're in big trouble, and any money we may have saved from doing this ourselves goes out to the tow truck. The fill bolt for the rear differential is behind the sensor, and the drain bolt is the 17mm bolt slightly below it. In order to get to the fill bolt, we first have to unplug this sensor. To do that, I have this flathead screwdriver I can use to release tension on the plug and pull it out with my other hand. With the sensor unplugged, we now have access to the fill bolt. This is when our 24mm deep socket comes in handy to remove the fill bolt. And these bolts are stuck on here really tight. But it's nothing that a little WD-40 can't fix though, right? Now that the fill bolt is removed, we can get ready to drain the oil by removing the 17mm drain bolt. If you look over here, you can see that the old crush washers are still stuck on the fill and drain holes, so it's important to make sure to take them off before adding the new crush washers. The drain bolt is magnetic, catching any loose metals and deposits trapped inside to prevent them from circulating throughout the differential, so let's be sure to clean off the bolts. Once the boats are cleaned, we can add on our new crush washers. Now that it's been over 30 minutes of letting the oil drain out and barely anything is coming out anymore, it's time to screw the drain bolt back on and begin filling the rear differential with the new oil. With this pump attachment, I can easily pump the oil from the container into the rear differential. After adding slightly more than a quart of oil, the new oil should start to drip out a little, letting us know it's reached the right level. Finally, we can fully tighten up the bolts. The torque specs for the drain and fill bolts are both around 35 foot-pounds. With both bolts securely tightened, the last thing we have to do is plug the sensor for the fill bolt back on, and we'll be all done. Alright, that's all there really is to it. Changing out the rear differential oil every 30,000 miles can really make a difference.